Yo, I've been to hell and back with you. Now we're in paradise. Look at all these flashing lights. Sub-vibrating, levitating, flying high. We've reached the afterlife. We'll make it through the night. We're in paradise. Can't take the music from me, I'm fighting now. I ain't going out lying down. We're in paradise. We're in paradise. We're in paradise.
waking up with millions of questions in my head. So much that went on before I made it into bed. I'm missing some pieces, I gotta recollect. Now I'm lost in introspect. It goes on and on and on again. All the fog and the delirium, always running through oblivion. Do I need a way out? I'm in love with the madness, the sweet summer sadness. I stay awake for the longest. No, I can't miss a moment. I'm in love with the madness, the sweet summer sadness. I stay awake for the longest. No, I can't miss a moment. Thoughts have got me locked into the prison in my head. Back and forth I listen to the voices of regret. Thinking did that happen as I try to recollect. Now I'm losing introspect. It goes on and on again. All the fuck and the delirium, always running through oblivion. Do I need a way out? I'm in love with the madness, the sweet summer sadness. I stay awake for the longest. No, I can't miss a moment. I'm in love with the madness, the sweet summer sadness. I stay awake for the longest. No, I can't miss a moment. No, I can't miss a moment.
If I could jump over mountains, run across the sea, would you be down with me? Would you be down with me? If I could stop rain from falling down upon your dreams, would you be down with me? Would you be down with me? If I could jump over mountains, run across the sea, would you be down with me? Yeah, would you be down with me? Oh, if I could stop rain from falling down upon your dreams, would you be down with me? Yeah, would you be down with me? Oh, if I could.
It's a first time caller. That's the way it's always been. It's the bottom dollar, like a cold embrace that pulls you in. It's the place you wanted, ever closer, never quite, just the way you want it, the way you want it. And you're looking at the world through a drinking straw, telling you that you gotta know who you are, who you gotta know. Alright, and you're stumbling in the dark and the meaningless, but you're going unaware for a fleeting glance, 'cause you gotta know. Alright, I said watch out, why can't you be yourself? Why can't you be a little more like everyone else? I said watch out, why can't you be yourself? Why can't you be a little more like everyone else? It's a microcosm, Simulated shades of gray. It's the light in darkness, and you know exactly what they'll say. Well, you tried your darnest. You feel a call and you give chase, and then they tug your harness. They tag your harness. And you're looking at the world through a drinking straw, telling you that you gotta know who you are. You gotta know. Alright. And you're stumbling in the dark and the meaning less, but you're going unaware for a fleeting glance, 'cause you gotta know. Alright. I said, watch out. Why can't you be yourself? Why can't you be a little more like everyone else? I said, watch out. Why can't you be yourself? Why can't you be a little more like everyone else?
Yeah, so if the mind is a metropolis, how high is the wall? And do you feed a semi-truth to make it grow big and tall? Are you intending on pretending what you feel is the law? I guess my question is if this is about this so much more. So are the walls to block the world out, dude, is that what they're for? Cause self-imposing isolation is a terrible call. Seems like this meeting's real subject is the state of the war. I'm not the adversary, architect designing the fall. But I'm so sorry that I hurt you. Worst of all, you think I mean to. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. Worst of all, you think I mean to. Well, I can't really say I'm following the thread of the spat. You do not know me if you think I try to wound you like that. Maybe it's time to draw a line between advice and attack. But when our boundaries don't align, how could we know where we're at? Cause there were times where I was made to reperceive how I act. Moments that made me check my habits, and I'm thankful for that. I need to help you do the same like only close friends can. And if you're feeling lonely, homie, know I'm here for you now. But I'm so sorry that I hurt you. Worst of all, you think I mean to. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. Worst of all, you think I mean to. It's like you make yourself mad to see how I might react. It's like you make yourself mad to see how I might react. It's like you make yourself mad to see how I might react. It's like you make yourself mad to see how I might react.
baggies by her bedside. Says she'll stop but she won't try. It's a loop that never ends. And she hides it from her friends. Follow on her nose ring. Chemicals beneath her skin. Her life is on roulette, and it hasn't landed yet. Hurts deep when I see her struggle. Tear up on a broken bottle. Get stuck trying to run from trouble, trouble, trouble. My friends go round and round and round. The merry go round and round and round. I'm worried that they won't come down. I don't want you to leave me now. My friends go round and round and round. The merry go round and round and round. I'm worried that they won't come down. I'm worried that they won't get off the merry-go-round. They won't get off the merry-go-round. They won't get off the merry-go-round. Always trying to pretend you're so happy in her head. It's like she's unaware. She don't know that she's possessed. Hurts deep when I see her struggle. Tear up on a broken bottle. Get stuck trying to run from trouble, trouble, trouble. My friends go round and round and round. The merry go round and round and round. I'm worried that they won't come down. I don't want you to leave me now. My friends go round and round and round. The merry go round and round and round. I'm worried that they won't come down. I'm worried that they won't get off the merry-go-round. They won't get off the merry-go-round. gonna do when you know that they're coming? Where you gonna go when there's no time for running? Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna be? What you wanna choose? What you wanna see? What you gonna do when your choices are coming for you? You just don't understand what your decisions mean. One day you pick your hand, so come and play it. Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna be? What you wanna choose? What you wanna see? What you gonna do when your choices are coming for you? What you gonna do when your choices are coming for you? I look into the mirror at night. I see the dark staring back at me. Don't know if I'm wrong or right. If this is fake or reality, all that I know is I gotta go. Cause my mind is my enemy. I look into the mirror at night. Now I know that it's meant to be. You just don't understand what your decisions mean. One day you pick your hand, so come and play it. Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna be? What you wanna choose? What you wanna see? What you gonna do when your choices are coming for you? What you gonna do when your choices are coming for you?
I'm falling with no return, shaking off the dust from where I've burned. I'm talking to where I've hurt. The light of me that's soon to be rebirthed. Everything I lost is just a memory. It's always, it's all fading away. Oh, I swore I'd find the strength to make amends. I'm waking from where I've been. A shackle on my mind is breaking. Everything I lost is just a memory. It's always, it's all fading away, away, away. Oh, everything I want is here in front of me, and I made it in places of faith.
As days they get older and the darkness turns to blue, yeah, I will be the one you keep when I come back to you. So generate the real in everything you do. Yeah, I will be the one you keep when I come back to you. As days they get older and the darkness turns to blue, yeah, I will be the one you keep when I come back to you. So generate the real in everything you do. Yeah, I will be the one you keep when I come back to you. Just take me, embrace me, and don't let go. This feeling inside me.
All right.
Here we see Storm Wolves and Baldrels facing off for a spot in the finals. Now we're joined by me, Grunkypeep,
and my man Jacob, and we're going to send you in some epic league action. We've had some awesome series in the Division 2 playoffs so far, and boy, am I excited for a Saturday night banger. That's too easy. Sweet. Let me start you off with the Storm Wolves. So as on the stream title you may see, it is the Storm Rats. I think they've just gone for a cheeky little play on words because this is TipRat's team. So they have donned the moniker of the Storm Rats tonight. But for the Storm Wolves, we will see TipRat, Dax, Toot, Kickman, and Why Do I Exist? And that'll be TipRat in the top lane, Dax in the jungle, Toot on support, Kickman will be residing in the mid lane, and Why Do I Exist is jumping into that ADC role. And on the other side of the rift, the Baldrels, obviously donning that name after Cadril had to shave his head after SKT won Worlds yet again. We've got Taltreenz hopping in the mid lane. I Will Climb, Agra, and Eliza, and then to top it all off, Joker is making his way onto that roster. Now, everybody in chat, let me know who you think is going to take out this one. You know, both of these teams have performed very well throughout the split. They've made it onto the side of the bracket, and they will be facing off with each other for a spot in the finals.
Yes, hello. Let me know in chat if the echo is now sorted. I have just tried to fix that. It is looking all okay on my end right now, so we should be good to go. Please let me know if any of the volume is needing to get changed as well. I'm Jacob, as Grunky said, here with you tonight to get into the game between the Baldrels and Stormwolves. Currently, they are still getting into draft right now, so we are just waiting for them to get that one going. As soon as we do, we'll have something to talk about. But yeah, in the meantime, it's great to see all 32 of you guys in chat right now. Looking forward to the game. Monitoring the Discord. Looks like a lot of people have quite a vested interest in tonight as we do make our way into the finals. That will be the winners of this against the winners of Team Push and Trap Team, which will be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So make sure to tune into that as well too, if you want to see who the winners of this are going to be playing.
Yeah, so after this weekend, we will know who's making it to the finals next weekend. Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, we always get a good turnout for these Division 2 games, as they always deliver with some banger games, some banger team comps, and some really good plays. Now, I'm hoping this does go to the third game and we get some really interesting drafts. We see some nice champions. We are in the fearless era of League of Legends, which means once you pick the champ, it is off the table for the next game. So just sort of looking over the Stormwolves roster at this point, having some predictions around what we might be seeing. Obviously, TipRat in the top lane. He has a very specific champ pool. He loves his Swain, he loves his Scion, and he loves his Renekton. Now, Jacob, when you hear those champs, what do you think?
We are actually in draft now. So they
sweet.
had a different link
That's
somehow,
all good.
which I have now fixed. Should be appearing on screen for everybody now. Thank you very much for letting me know that one. Yeah, I don't know how that happened because I've had this link up since like 2 p.m. today. But that's okay. We'll go into it. Grunky, let us know what you think about the current picks.
No, it's looking good. I mean, straight off the bat, the Baldrels have a really nice purple team comp. That is just straight off the bat. Visually, what I'm gathering from this, we have ultimate synergy color palette wise. You know, depending on your perspective, Rise could be blue, he could be purple, but for this case, he is a purple man. And then The Storm Wolves, they've got a little bit more, of a spread color palette, a little bit of greens, a little bit of blues in there. But team comp wise, if we're looking at it, you've got the Amumu, which is going to be a really nice team fighter, paired up with the Lulu, great team fighter. Urgot has some good side lane presence as well, but the Victor is a team fight powerhouse at the end of the day. They've got some nice damage. They don't have too much burst, but I think that's not too bad into the sort of health stackers of Baldrels. The Mundo, the Alistar, and the Rise ends up with quite a lot of HP after his roller purchase as well, so expect for these fights to be quite long and drawn out, as there's not too much burst. Obviously, the Syndra, Scatter the Weak into the Unleashed power can get through a target, but apart from that, it's a lot of ramping up damage going to come out from both of these teams.
Yeah, for sure. And we're seeing some well-known picks for a couple players here. Well, mostly well-known bans. For sure, Mundo was always going to be a high priority ban, as both junglers do have that one as well too. Quick note, guys. So the Dax is having a headset issue, so he's going to take a couple minutes to sort that out. So we will talk about the draft a bit longer. Well, they fixed their headphones on that one. So yeah, a couple, like I said, Mundo, both junglers play it. Same with Yanara. Both the ADCs do love a bit of Yanara from their past match history. So that one was likely gonna stay. Sorry, those ones are likely gonna first picked for the first game. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stuff on screen. And yeah.
And then the Amumu pick coming out game one, obviously a comfort pick for Dax. So he's just going to jump on that one where he can. His other sort of blind pickable champ is the Xin Zhao, but I think, looking at this team comp, they want a team fight. So you might as well just opt in for the Amumu. Just double down on the objective of your team comp rather than sort of try and cover too many bases at once. If you're solely focused on team fighting, you might as well just go for it. The only tool that might be a little bit hard to get full use out of is this Ashe. Doesn't have amazing damage into tanks. Obviously, if you're hitting for a while, that's totally fine. But I feel like as soon as this Syndra sort of can get any sort of threat onto the Ashe, it will be quite bad. Obviously, the Lulu can, supplement the HP and the resistances and the peel. But at the end of the day, Lulu really wants to be paired up with someone who's just going to be blasting out a lot of damage. So potentially that Lulu was like a little bit of a steal away, because Yunara Lulu is an awesome lane and an awesome late game pairing. So could have been a little steal away there. But it would have been nice to see maybe like, I don't know, even a Cogmore or a Twitch or something to go with this Lulu. Just something that just pumps out the damage into this low sort of damage team comp from Baldrels, because they need a little bit of time to scale. Mundo needs the Heartsteel, Syndra needs to stack up her shards, and then Rise needs ideally that 3-item power spike to get really going.
Yeah, for sure. And the other steal away as well, of all things, is actually the Ashe that we assume will be taken by Why Do I Exist for Stormwolves, as that is Agrahar's second most played champ top on Baldrels. So that will also work to mean he doesn't get his hands on that one for any of the future games as well too, as I'm sure he would love to use that to cause some ranged grief in the top lane for the future games in the series, but he will not have the option to do so now that it will be played on the bot lane for Stormwolves.
Yeah, absolutely. And Taltreenz, NZ, getting his Victor pick. He likes the Syndra, he likes the Orianna, and he likes the Victor. The Syndra is getting taken away late in the draft by Baldrels, but that's not too bad because he does have that Victor as well, which I think slots quite nicely into this team comp. If they are able to extend these fights, that Chaos Storm's going to really tick away on the backline and do some good damage. And it's quite a durable, high damage frontline from Stormwolves. Amumu does pump low and get a big fair off in those team fights.
Yep, Amumu gets a lot of power in the. Sorry, we're still having headset issues. Deck's headset has fallen apart and requires emergency repairs. So we're still working on it. We are the players are in the lobby and the draft is ready, as you guys can see. I am trying to work on it with them so we can get into game, but we looking like the world is against us tonight as to actually getting into game one here. As yeah, I will keep you guys updated though. But as Grunky said, Amumu will have a lot of agency if they are grouped in 5.
Another interesting aspect definitely is Baldrels banning away that some Seraphine in the first phase, and then Stormwolves still opting for Ashe because in this meta that is the optimal lane is the Ashe and Seraphine. They pair up really nicely together. So still going for the Ashe despite the first round Seraphine ban is very interesting. Maybe it's some kind of 5D chess, where they've banned the Seraphine away, so they pick the Ashe, so then the Seraphine gets freed up the second game because they're not scared of that lane, and then they have another great Seraphine pair up to have for the next game. You never know how many steps these guys are thinking ahead if they're playing chess, if they're playing checkers, or if they're playing League of Legends. You just never know with these Division 2 drafts. Anything can come out from these guys.
Yep, and we're also getting I think a lot of synergy on the side of Baldrels right now. As you can tell we're just having delays here because this is what we're going to start talking about. But if you look at the color palettes for the picks and for the picks on the side of Baldrel, it is all very purple for them.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the side of Stormwolves, we're getting a lot more green and blue. So I think if we apply color theory to that, which if I knew, I'm sure would have some very, very, very relevant insights as to how the games are going to go tonight. But definitely something to look out for as we move on to the future games and continue to evaluate the color palette for the champs that are being picked by either side.
Yeah, definitely awesome color synergy from the Baldrels. I think they can hold their heads high going into game one, knowing that aesthetically they've got the edge. It's actually, interestingly enough, there are no Void champs being picked, and that's typically what I would think of when I thought of purple champs. But, it's the Alistar who, he's purple. And sometimes you forget about that, because typically owls in real life aren't purple. And, Yunara has that nice purple hair, and it might be a natural hair color for her. You never know. Syndra is more of a white hair color, but has a purple outfit. So all these different elements. Under the right lighting, Ryze skin can be purple. He's known for being a blue man. EQ, Ryze blue man. Shout out to the Ryze subreddit. Great group of guys over there. And then Mundo obviously has the purple skin because he has been taking Zorn steroids for a long time, and that has some pigmentation effects.
If you actually listen to the voice lines, and when you're playing Mundo, he actually says side effects may include torn clothes and purple skin, to which he then tells himself he's going to look out for it. So yeah, it's actually you're correct, Grunky. It is exactly because of the Zorn steroids he's on, because as administered, the side effects are purple skin. And I've got some good news for you guys. We are actually going to be heading into the game soon, as all the players are back in the lobby, headsets are working, and we are just coming up to wait out the spectator delay on this one. And we will be in very shortly to get through to game one. And important to note there as well too, back to the colors that no Void champions were used. You were saying they might be playing 5D chess. This could be the next move, and that is all purple Void champions for Baldrels next round.
Yeah,
So
that's
be
true.
on the lookout for sure.
There's definitely some options. Kassadin mid, Kha'Zix jungle, Cho top. I think he's leaning on the side of purple, even though he is a little bit more red. And then bot lane. What would you go for? Kai'Sa, obviously the number one option I would probably choose, and then a avoid support champion. Not too many.
Good
I can think of.
Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz, yep. There's the team comp. So if you see that coming up from Baldrels in game 2, it's because they're doing exactly what we are predicting right now.
Yeah. I for one, I look forward to the possibility of that happening. Would be a great way to start off the night. And yeah, so we are in spectator delay now. 2 minutes, guys, until we get into game 1. Thanks so much for dealing with us for the last 5 minutes while we waited out the players having some issues with their headphones. Hopefully that is the last of the headphone issues tonight, and hopefully I don't have any audio issues tonight while I'm trying to bring this to you guys. Quick note as well too for the stream. So yes, I know the title is incorrect. Neither Grunky or I can actually change the title though, as DirtyTipRat, who's playing tonight, is the one who gave us the stream key. He also can't change the title as he will be busy trying to beat Baldrels. So just going to have to work with that one for now. And that's also why the title of the stream is Storm Rats instead of Storm Wolves. Official team name is Storm Wolves, but we are referring to them as Storm Rats for some of tonight as well. So please use that interchangeably as you'd like.
Yeah, and we see TipRat has picked up this Urgot. Very on brand for the type of champions and type of impact he likes to have in game. A little fun fact outside of the Rift, he is a new father, so congratulations to TipRat, and I hope that hasn't affected his practice or scrimming schedule too much leading up into these playoffs.
I can't imagine that a screaming baby could be a little bit of an issue for scrims, but that's just it'll make the win feel so much sweeter knowing that you've had to work through that to get where you are. So where's the accomplishment without the adversity is what he'll be feeling tonight, and hoping to come out on the accomplishment end of that, hopefully.
Yeah, he's been having to Malzahar ult the baby to keep it nice and relaxed and chilling out. So yeah, I mean, obviously we're waiting for the spectator delay to get us into game. And what are we looking
10
at
seconds
early?
now.
I think obviously Ashe is a really strong level 1, but also Yunara is as well. So we could potentially see a little bit of swang and bang. I think Lulu is a little bit more efficient level 1 than the Alistar. So I would put a little bit more like of an edge on the Ashe Lulu bot lane over the Alistar. But once it sort of gets to level 3 or so, I think Yunara and Alistar can really take over this lane. The Urgot Ryze lane, obviously Ryze is seeing a little bit more show up in the top lane at the moment. He can scale really well, has a pretty safe laning phase, and I can imagine he's going to get some pretty free farm into this Urgot.
Yep, and we are in game right now. So good to finally get into it. See all the champs making their way out onto the Rift.
Some early vision going down. Briefcase is locked and loaded, and it is going to miss by just a hair. So no files are sent early into this game, but a little bit of warding just to sort of check where he may start. Probably a bot to top for this Mundo, and then a top to bot for the Amumu. So opposite paths, so it doesn't look like we will have any early scuffle fights coming out from the two junglers.
Yep, each jungler will get their own scuttle crab. Let me know in the chat if any of the game audio needs fixing as well too. Again, looks all okay on my end, but just let me know if it is an issue. Team names are in the right side, which is a good start. And yeah, Mundo, we're looking to hit a few more briefcases, hopefully, towards the further minutes of the game. but otherwise all pretty normal at the start of game 1 between the Baldrels and Stormwolves.
Yeah, the briefcases are going to do quite a bit of work in these early skirmishes. Obviously, Amumu has a lot of HP stacking, so those briefcases are going to get mega value. Even into the Urgot as well. He'll probably end up with the old Black Cleaver quite early on, and then spec into a little bit more of a defensive build, I would imagine. Unless, you know, he wants to try and take full command of this lane, take over and just do as much damage as possible. The Rise with Conqueror is a very interesting option. Phase Rush did get nerfed recently, so I might imagine Rise players are looking for a couple different ways to take advantage of Rise and the things he can offer. I did see Division 1 player Govos whipped out the Comet. He actually whipped that on me, and it was a bit of a scary piece of work in the mid lane. But yeah, the Phase Rush definitely not as good. I'd say it's still the best, but we'll see how this Conqueror goes as these extended fights with the Urgot happens in the top lane.
Yeah, we all know the pain of getting poked out by Arcane Comet in lane. Never a fun time when you're on the receiving end of that. A lot of armor shred likely coming out from Stormwolves, especially into that Mundo between the as you mentioned, Black Cleaver from the Urgot and the skill set for the Amumu as well too. Will be very helpful in taking down the high health bar as the Mundo does scale into the later game if we do get there.
Yeah, and he will at the point of the game where the Baldrels want to be and want to be fighting, Mundo will be a threat as well. He'll have his Heartsteel, most likely have quite a lot of damage. He'll just run up to someone with the Dead Man's Plate and get a couple good auto attacks off. He will be a threat, and that'll create a lot of space for this Yunara, who is typically quite a short range AD carry, to get a decent amount of auto attacks off on the front line. Both team fighting comps, you know, fairly front to back in terms of how they want to operate. So it'll come down to how effective can these front lines get. You know, the Alistar and the Mundo do a very good job of that with the Alistar ult coming through. You'll take virtually no damage. And then the Amumu and the Urgot will have the Lulu ult to support them if they need to, but yeah, I think that's what's going to be the make or break for this game. Can this Urgot get ahead? Can he, you know, really influence the team fights as he wants to? And then the Amumu, does he get off the really good ults on the backline? You know, if he can hit Syndra, Yunara, and Rise all in one ult, that's pretty much a one fight.
Yep, the Bandage Toss will be a key part of the skill expression coming out of Dax today, as he does look to do exactly that, get into the back line of the Baldrels, pin them down, and allow the, you know, get all the damage laying on top of that with the Arcane Storm from Victor as well. A lot of circles going onto each other. Circle around Urgot as he circles around the Baldrels. Get all the empowered attacks off as well too, while they're all stuck in, ideally, the ultimate of Amumu.
Yeah, definitely. TipRat's got his work cut out for him. Being able to get on top of, you know, a lot of these champions are short range. The Rise, the Yunara, and the Syndra is relatively, you know, short range to get in there and, you know, get your ult off on a backline target. But still not short range melee enough for the Urgot to really feel comfortable in these team fights. Typically, if you were versing a 3 melee top side, you would feel a lot better being on this Urgot. But, you know, he'll have to just figure that one out a bit later on. Maybe he's got an interesting item he wants to get. Sometimes you can see the Stride Breaker and that kind of stuff coming up from the Urgot if you really want to have some more utility. But I think he's going to be feeling pretty safe grabbing that Black Cleaver first or second. Oh, a Flash Bandage Toss trades the Flash out of Taltreenz. A nice little bit of pressure from Dax in the mid lane. Pre-6 Amumu is not the craziest ganker, but that was just nice. Letting Taltreenz know that Kickman's got a man in his corner. He's pulling up and he's adding some pressure, so he can't just get a nice shove. Dax is lurking around the mid lane and letting his laner get off a good reset. Nice play from the jungle early on. It's always good to get the flash out of the Syndra as she is relatively immobile.
Yep, just trying to be productive while he waits for his top side camps to come up, and they do spawn. Krog's along with red buff, and he's heading over there right now to get them. We've got looking at the names down in the bot lane today. We have a couple questions being asked of both players, with Whyareytrying versus why do I exist. So yeah, we'll see who's got the stronger question. Definitely.
Yeah, one is a little bit more self-loathing coded, whereas the other one is a little bit more, offensive, so to say. In terms of, a nice flash in from TipRat, creating a bit of pressure in this top lane. Doesn't want the Rise to scale by himself, but the Ghost is traded. He's going to stack up the Conqueror and try and get some good damage off, but TipRat is opting to potentially turn the fight. One more EQW might get the job done, and he cancels the final auto attack. Very unfortunate. One auto attack in between that 1v1. A nice little trade back and forth, and the Conqueror Rise actually showing a little bit of value early game.
There's that offense you were just talking about as coming to fruition in the top lane between DirtyTipRat and Agra. Both a little bit of range coming out of both the top laners today. So not the normal melee matchup we're so used to seeing. But they are definitely both still pressuring each other just as much.
Yeah, very good spotting, Penguin Domo. It looks like Taltreenz is collecting those pots, those potions in his inventory. Potentially is looking for some kind of tradesman or a seller on the way to lane, which he can potentially trade for gold coin. In many RPG games you will find wandering travelers who are in search of rare items and trading for coins.
Super slow start to the game so far. Got a 0-0 on the board both ways, although Baldrels have just secured both objectives. Mundo not normally too strong early objectives. Definitely struggles to solo dragon and isn't the quickest grub taker, so Strom definitely letting that one slide a bit. Probably a bit easier than I would have liked to seen from them. That will give the early advantage over to the Baldrels, relieve some pressure as we move to the mid game as well with that first dragon and grubs.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate that Dax wasn't on top of those grubs, as Urgot really likes to have those grubs in the top lane. He wants to have that extra bit of split push pressure and be able to take towers if Rise does decide to realm warp out of the lane. Unfortunately, the Mundo doing what he pleases in this early game. Those cleavers do a good amount of percentage damage to these objectives early, so he's able to just whack a couple down and get a bit of presence on the map. But 9.5 minutes in, 0 kills in a Div 2 game. Both teams are feeling the pressure right now and not wanting to overstep too much.
Both teams do have a bit of scalability in them for sure. Victor on the side of Stormwolves and most of the comp on the side of the Baldrels, so they're probably feeling a little bit better about the slower pace at the start of the game. But Stormwolves won't be looking too upset about it either, as they do have that Victor insurance, and Ashe does do quite well as well towards the late game also, assuming she doesn't fall too far behind compared to the Yunara.
It looks like both mid laners, they've both taken a Comet, and they're both going to go Blackfire to start off the game. Pretty good DPS, definitely prime items on both. The Syndra has actually reset and not used her gold potion yet, so potentially waiting for some form of stock change in the prices for that. But second dragon going over to Stormwolves. So none of these are being contested, really. They're just sort of saying, hey, handshake, you can have this one, I'll have this one, and then maybe late game we can figure out, who's getting Elder.
Yep. The Mundo completes his first item ahead of Dax's Amumu does. As mentioned, we'll be going for that Heartsteel first, likely the Dead Man's Plate second. Although, potentially, I want to say it's the green vest one, Spirit Visage, as Amumu and Victor will be doing some magic damage as well too, so I might be wanting to get a bit of magic resist instead. But most likely the dead man's play, and the Amumu does finish the Leandri's first item as well too. Pretty normal for a Dax on that one.
Yep, and I could see pretty good Abyssal Mask value for this Amumu, helping the Victor do a little bit more damage in these team fights and pumping out that damage, because that is pretty much their main damage source right now, is going to be that Victor. So getting all his upgrades is going to be pretty essential to pumping out that damage in these sort of 3 to 4 dragons that are coming up. As you know, you really want that Chaos Storm to be growing after you pop a target. So ideally you'd hit that enchanted crystal arrow from the Ash, wipe someone off the face of the planet, hopefully the Yunara, or the Rise, or even the Syndra, you know. And then that Chaos Storm is going to be hitting more people. It's going to be applying that burn over and over to a range of targets.
I think that next dragon will likely be, if I had to bet, would be where we see the first, hopefully, team fight of the match, as both teams will want to take a 1 dragon lead to the opposition. So as soon as that is up,
DirtyTipRat is going in. If he can get off the ult here, he's going to get the kill onto the Rise. We don't see it because the Observer takes the spot lane, but flash blown by the Rise. That one is pinged in chat, so he won't have that for the next dragon fight. I mean, he still does have the ghost up, so he'll be able to roam around those dragon fights nicely. Still just good trading going on in the mid lane. Blackfire Torch, not purchased from Kickman just yet, but it is on the side of Taltreenz. Mono's waiting in the bush. They do go in here onto the Lulu. Can they chunk out? The Amumu comes back on the other side, and Yunara is going awfully low. The Ashe is in there kiting, and she's gliding. But can she take down the Mundo and Alistair? These two big purple boys are very tanky. Storm Wolves are on the board, and they've picked up a triple in the bot lane. 2 of those kills going onto the Lulu. Not a good turnout gold distribution wise, but an awesome turnout for Dax in terms of getting good value on that ult.
Dax got insane value on that ult, and they definitely did take it to the Baldrels down in the bot side of the map. The 3-0 for them. As you said, unfortunately, Lulu taking 2 of those kills won't feel the best for Ash's wallet, but still overall a phenomenal result.
Yeah, really awesome result. And neither bot laner from the side of Stormwolves had to blow their flash. That is going to be a crucial tool for this next team fight coming up. The gold on Lulu is fine. She can get some really crucial items earlier, get those shields nice and chunky. The Baldrels don't actually have a very efficient way to cut through shielding. Well, it looks like DirtyTipRat might be able to get him this time. No flash. And Agra goes into the big belly of the beast in the top lane, DirtyTipRat.
Yeah, just blend it up there. Chains connected and straight into the death chamber of Urgot's internal mechanisms. Taking a lot of turret plating now as well. Trying to build on that, build the lead. Catch up on the CS that he was down on. Got a bounty on him now as well. I mean, 4 out of 5 members of Stormwolves now with a bounty, so all feeling good about themselves. We'll be trying not to die now. Don't want to give any of that gold they worked so hard to get back over to the Baldrels.
Yeah, DirtyTipRat is exercising his new father buff, and he is running away with this top lane right now. Rise does scale, so he's not too worried about, you know, losing a kill here and there, especially if it comes with a summoner trade. But this is exactly where DirtyTipRat wants to be. He's got his Black Cleaver, he's got his Merc Treads, which are going to be great into the whole side of Baldrels. So now he's chilling. He's going to have good top lane pressure. Preemptive teleport for this Rise. They're setting up for the dragon, and they want to have pressure on the start of this. TipRat is going straight into the pit. He's going to have a big shield on his body, and he's going to run straight in there looking for an engage potentially. Dax is floating some bandages out there. The tension is palpable right now, and one of these teams are going to walk away with this dragon and potentially all the momentum going into this mid game.
Lots of errant briefcases flying out as Eliza Lashina is trying to connect them. Goes on in.
Dax finds a nice bandage toss into the back line. The 2-man first Amumu. Oh, but the Alistair's traded places. 2 for 2 so far. No, 1 for 2. And then the Urgot is just heading away. He is doing mega work. The Yunara goes back in. A little bit too overzealous. Gets absolutely blown up by this Ashe. And she is scaling exactly where she wants to be. The Syndra is on the run. The only one left from Baldrels still alive. Scatters the weak to get himself out of there. But I am so impressed that Dax survived that. He was right in the mix, and he lives.
Yeah, 4 for 1 and no armor built yet for Dax's Amumu, and just manages to make it out unscathed and take the second Ocean Drake. So I'm going to get Ocean Drake on the Rift tonight. Very important that the Mundo does not come out with the soul for that, as that would cause a lot of pain for the side of Stormwolves, but they are getting off to a great start in preventing that by getting the third Drake, as they are now 1 up and 2 away from soul. The DirtyTipRat pushing for that potential first turret down in the top lane, only sitting on 1 bar of health currently, as he continues to push the waves in using the advantage he has built up.
Yeah, nah, either team is going to really like this Ocean Drake, so I think whoever manages to land the soul just wins the game, but right now, things are looking pretty dire for the Baldrels. It is 1 kill to 8, 2 dragons up, and a roughly around 4k gold. And this Ashe, who typically doesn't do much damage, is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, the importance of that Ashe was really to not get behind as well, as the Yunara does tend to do better as we go later in the game. But if the Ashe can keep the gold up, keep the KDA up, and keep the relevance up, it will not feel like the Yunara has the advantage as we do get later into the game.
Yeah, and Yunara actually doesn't have many tools to help her out, as we saw in that last fight. Joker opted to try and go in and engage himself onto the backline and disrupt the Victor and Ashe, but no one was able to peel the Yunara. No one's able to help out this Yunara in the backline. She does pair up typically quite well with Engage, but in this case, you know, you kind of need someone to peel the Amumu away. You kind of need someone to peel this Urgot away, because he's going to be pretty much running it straight at this backline. He's not got too much threat, apart from maybe like a headbutt here and there, but it's a single target. You can only headbutt either the Amumu or the Urgot.
Rift Hero going to go down to Stormwolves as well, as they are going to use that to push in and hopefully take their first turret. As it does look like this Urgot is going to take that first turret up the top side now.
Hiding in the bush, Scatter the Weak pushes him away. Sorry to cut you off there, I thought something was unfolding in this bot lane. It was a nice little bush bait by Kickman. I think he's in a good position on this Victor, even though he is a kill down. The Victor's in a good spot coming into this mid game against the Syndra, where he's just a little bit too durable to be taken out by a full combo because of those upgraded Mertreads.
Yep. Mid laners with their upgraded shoes now, feeling speedy through that lane. Alistair is mid as he looks to help out the Syndra. And the Lulu does come to match him, so Toot up in the mid lane as well, as it does look like we are trading locations, as the mid laners are going to go down to the bot lane and meet up over there instead, as Victor pushes in on the bot lane turret of the Baldrels.
Yeah, so both of these teams opting to try and focus on fighting around objectives. Not too many dives coming up, being set up, not too many ganks being set up and that kind of things on the side lanes. Looks like they're putting all of their money on black, and black is dragon fights.
That is the one. So much vision, you can see it. They've got 1 control board in the pit, 4 around the sides of the pit, and they're trying to take out the rest that they can.
Now, in this next fight, looks like we're going to have summoners on pretty much everyone. Potentially the Amumus will just come up just in time, which is going to be a good for the Flash Curse of the Sad Mummy. But yeah, it's going to be an explosive next team fight, and I think the Baldrels is going to need some huge plays from Taltreenz and Whyareytrying just to pump out the DPS. This Rise is still scaling up. He does have his Seraphs completed, but he does really, really want that Actualizer to be completed so he can potentially the Ashe. But alluding to what I was saying prior, the Baldrels don't have any good Serpent's Fang users, so the Lulu is getting maximum value out of all of her shielding and healing this game.
The Mundo is going to go a bit of magic resist first before the Dead Man's Plate, as I thought might happen, trying to mitigate that damage from...
Oh, a nice engage onto the Ashe. The flash does come out. Nice Curse of the Sad Mummy goes on to 3, but it's going to be a numbers advantage for the Baldrels and a really nice pick. Mundo going where he pleases and finds the Ashe just before the objective comes up, getting a little bit lazy. But here comes TipRat. He is going in 1v5 and he is not stopping. The Lulu is shielding him and buffing him up. Keep going, son. This is your moment. Victor is in the mix as well. Chaos Storm going on to 3. He is running in as well. And a nice little turn back. The Ashe got caught. Dax got caught. But TipRat and Kickman, you know, using their wallet advantage to take pressure back. And this might be another Dragon and Soul Point going the way of Stormwolves.
Yeah, good trade by numbers for the Baldrels, as they only went 1 for 2, but the re-engage out of Stormwolves and the Urgot just with full access to the back line, pressuring them and pushing them all back, reducing the health bars will mean that they are looking like they will secure this Ocean Drake, assuming Mundo does not come in and try to steal it, which he's definitely thinking about as they are grouping up again, trying to approach down through the river. Drake will reset as the side of Stormwolves do back up on that one as well. DirtyTipRat at half health. Although all sums are up right now for a Dax, so possibly looking for another flash bandage into something. His ult has just come back again as well, so might be looking to turn the curse of a sad mummy into the curse of a happy mummy if he gets a good hit.
Good spotting, Jacob. Yeah, that curse of the sad mummy just coming back up, and the Mundo ult is yet to tick over. Nice flash, 4-man curse of the sad mummy onto the backline. He will go down, but they are hitting on him. This Ashe is running amok, and there is nothing much this poor cow can do on the backline. The Chaos Storm is taking over the map, and that is going to be a Baron for Stormwolves. They will come back and grab that dragon a little bit later, but that was an amazing team fight. And this looks like this lead could potentially be insurmountable for the Baldrels.
Did you see how big that Chaos Storm was? That that was larger than the Drake Pit. Way larger than the Drake Pit. Pretty much encompassed the half of their bot side jungle for the Baldrels. As yes, they will handily take this Baron. Not much resistance at all, considering that there are no members of the Baldrels on the Rift right now, as they do make their way back on now. Look like they want to rush Dragon while the Stormwolves do finish this off, see if they can get it in before the resets come out. But the empowered recalls will be utilized, and they will likely head over to contest this Ocean Drake.
They might be able to rush it. This Lunara is hopping over and whacking it, so potentially, unless a miracle from Dax happens, he's just going to get bonked away by this Alistair. But no, an awesome team fight for them. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that trade. You know, it's probably the only way that they're going to come back into the game if the Baldrels are able to stop the bleeding and, you know, get some more items on this Lunara, get this Rise pumping out a little bit more. He does have the fully stacked Rower, he does have the Seraphs, but he is almost one item down on this Urgot, who is yet to die.
5, 0, and 4. Definitely having a great game today as the pressure is felt.
Tough, and an awesome ult on the Amumu again is going to take out 2. Scat of the Week does come back onto the Amumu and kills him with the Unleashed power. But right now, DirtyTipRat and Why Do I Exist are just firing as many auto attacks and bullets at the side of the Baldrels as physically possible right now. And just as I say that they need to stop the bleeding, another massive wound is opened in a different place.
They are trying to break the base of the Baldrels, pushing onto the inhibitor turrets. Victor's down in the bot lane as well too, just splitting the Baron buff down there as well too, trying to get the bot lane gold. And yeah, as you were saying, DirtyTipRat popping off on the Urgot, 6-0 and 6 now. 3 items complete. So hard to kill with the Jack Shows and Sterax Gauge going in as well. Just and somehow doing so much damage too. Like you see it come in whenever he gets into the back line of the Baldrels and Dax opens up that space. He is just shooting around the place and destroying them. This Mundo is just not feeling too good right now either. As, like I said, gone with magic resistance first, the Urgot is destroying him when he gets on top.
Yeah, and I was looking through the patch notes, Jacob, and I didn't see a new father buff for DirtyTipRat. So I don't think the Baldrels were well aware that this guy is coming to play tonight, and he's coming to shred some laners, and he's coming to shred some backlines. So yeah, great performance so far from the big man in the top lane. But looking at this Ashe, 4 items, 27 minutes, has the Lord Doms, has the Kraken Slayer. There is pretty much nothing that this Mundo can do to deal with the Ashe. You know, sure, you're not going to get Ashe ulted, but you're going to get absolutely kited if Why Do I Exist is going to keep colliding like he's been doing all this game.
Yep, it's a bit shame he's still wondering why he exists, as right now he is playing an integral part on Stormwolves, and I am sure the entire team is more than happy he is existing, while the team of the Baldrels is still asking the question, why are you trying? As whatever they are trying is paying off. And you're right, Grunky, there was no patch notes that the Baldrels read about a father buff, as DirtyTipRat is likely going to have to change his name to DaddyTipRat after the end of this game, as to what he's doing to Agra.
Absolutely. And really just the little wins here for Baldrels are what they can get. A couple nice wards here and there. This Amumu is super tanky, has the Sunfire, has the Abyssal Mask. He's going to feel totally fine with flying into this backline as he's been doing. There's a little bit of footsies going on around this red buff on the bottom side of the map. There's just ward clearing. The death ball rolls on. Just these 3 alone, I'm sure, could deal some major damage to the whole side of Baldrels. As this Lulu has been having an awesome performance as well. Took those 2 kills early and took it to the bank, and has been ramping up a really impressive ward score, as you see, 103.
Yeah, for sure, a silent killer on the side of Stormwolves with the... Pretty sure I'm just counting the
DirtyTipRat. Can they catch him out and put that 2-1? They're trying their best to dump everything on him. The Alistar is going to come around. Shutdown is going to be imminent. But DirtyTipRat will fall eventually to this rise, as he does pick up a much needed kill. I think that was around 1,000 gold going over to the rise, so that'll help him purchase that actualizer. And yeah, there is a glimmer of hope of a comeback.
So it's a small glimmer, but it does feel good going onto that rise, especially with that 3-item spike, and as we do go later in the game. As overall, they Baldrels still scale quite well, but they're going to need some gold to actually make use of any of the scalability right now, which is really where they're lacking.
Yeah, and it looks like the Alistar is up shit creek without a paddle, and he will be going down river in the corpse form. And it's Soul Point going over to the Stormwolves, and they are one step closer from achieving a 1-0 start to this playoff series. Once the Soul Dragon comes on the map, they have to fight. Baldrels have to fight for it. I don't know if this Amumu and Urgot will die if Ocean Drake goes over to Stormwolves.
Yep, Soul Point for Stormwolves. They will be very happy with themselves as they look forward to ideally completing the Soul and hopefully finishing out the game. Not too long thereafter, pings coming out for the Baron is the next objective on the map and will be the point of contest for both teams. Stormwolves will be looking for a way to get it done. Baldrels probably looking for a way to prevent Stormwolves getting it done right now.
And looking into next game, obviously I don't want to write off the Baldrels too soon, but you know, I think they're going to be best served drafting a little bit more early game pieces. This game they really invested in the late game, and the early game has suffered quite a lot. Getting some nice early game pieces, a bit of more of an aggressive ganking jungler is going to help out these lanes a lot more. I feel like while the Mundo is a strong pick right now, you have to put some other elements around them in terms of the damage source, because right now it's just a like double AP lane top laner, both of which they need to scale and they need a couple items to be super effective. Void Staff on the Syndra is going to be a good start though.
Yeah, it's rough as kind of as Muma goes in.
Coming out, he can't seem to get a good mummy ult off. And the backline is just getting shredded. A nice flash 4-man. This guy is on fire with his Muma ults right now, and a bandage toss to boot. That is probably going to be GG if they can get a wave push. But another beautiful ult from Dax, a 4-man. I think that's pretty much back to back 4-man Amumu ults. What an absolute weapon this guy is on this champion.
Another Baron comes through as they go 3 for 0 on the kills. Easy take for the side of Stormwolves. That smite button for Dax is definitely getting pressed a lot more than Eliza Luciana's smite button is, as they've got 2 objectives to the side of 3 Drakes and 2 Barons now for Stormwolves, and the map is showing the effect of it, as every single turret for Stormwolves is still up, by the way. It is 33 minutes in the game and Baldrels have not taken a single turret yet. Yeah, I just noticed that, and I think everybody else should now also take note of that fact, because that is not ideal.
On the positive side, that is a lot of available gold for the Baldrels, you know, like 1-1 team fight, smash out all of those objective bounties, and then you might lose 10 more minutes in the future than you are
That
now.
is true. There is definitely a glass half full take, if you wanna look at it that way, for the Baldrels.
Exercising positivity in these best of threes, you know. If you get absolutely molly-whopped in game 1, all you can really do is come back game 2 stronger. Quick shout out to Megucat and Violet in the chat. You guys are absolute MVPs and are 2 of the best to do it.
Yeah, it's great to have everybody tuning in and watching this game tonight. Grunky and I were doing our best to bring it to you best we can. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying this as much as we are. Definitely a lot of interesting gameplay as always with Div 2, and it's a joy to watch them have a go at it tonight in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and as I was discussing with the draft, Stormwolves had a very distinct game plan in mind with this draft. It's team fight, it's dealing a lot of AoE damage, it's having a nice mix of utility, while the Baldrels have just put all their money into scaling. They really want to scale. They do have the Yunara, which can have a nice level 1 to 3, but apart from that, they need their items, they need a little bit of lane pressure. Ryze wants to be in a side lane hitting. He almost does have a Rabadon's to pair with his actualizer, so that could be a tipping point, as a fed Ryze with the Rabadons is not something to scoff at.
Yeah, big engage coming on through as the Baldrels are looking to make a play.
Oh, I just missed that fight as I was looking down at my cat. But DirtyTipRat is yet again running amok, and it's just been the story of this game. They go for something, and they all die to DirtyTipRat firing the machine gun, and why do I exist? Hitting arrows on everything. And there we go. Dax was asking if he was on vision, but I don't think it mattered anyway, as an attempted pick turns against them, and it's just the Yunara. One cannon minion is there. The Yunara is getting flashed on. DirtyTipRat is taking his prize home, and game 1 is over to the Stormwolves.
Yeah, that is game 1, all finished, all wrapped up. And Grunky, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, just as I was saying at the tail end of that game, you know, wipe this from your memory if you're Baldrels. go into next game, invest in the early game, invest in some early game pieces. They were able to get all of the grubs and the first dragon, which was an awesome start, but then things kind of fell apart once they started losing these little skirmishes. That counter gank in the bot lane really snowballed the Ashe, but we never saw the Mundo back there. He was instantly put off trying to affect that lane, which just enabled the Ashe to take an early tower, rotate mid, and just they had tempo vibes and advantages pretty much the entire game. Epic performance from DirtyTipRat as well. It wasn't even on one of his like sort of marquee champions, which is the Swain, Renekton, and Sion. So if he's able to get one of those in the next game and carry the momentum on, it's going to be a pretty scary prospect for the Baldrels.
Yeah, for sure. The Storm Wolves will be looking to have a repeat next game, and Baldrels will be looking to have the opposite of what happened this game. So as you said, can't get any worse for them really. I mean, you'd really hope it doesn't get any worse, as this was pretty not close in the end. So definitely could be gearing up for a bit of a closer game too, as these two teams do figure themselves out. And I think we are off to a break as the players get up, get some water, and get ready to hop into Game 2 draft. And we will bring you guys all back when that is the case.
Too easy. Yep, I'll go have a little break as well. So I think if Jacob's got some lovely music to leave you guys with, he will roll that now.
Done. See you guys in a bit.
Catch you in a bit.
I see you running, I'm falling. Yeah, I think that's enough said. You won't see me coming, give you no warning. Things I should get off my chest. I see you running, I'm falling. Yeah, I think that's enough said.
What am I gonna do on Sundays? You'd throw the curtain wide, and I wouldn't mind. The sky won't clouds, sheltering in the subway. We proper painful love, and see how long we make a tenner lost. Too bad, couldn't see what you had in front of you. I did what I had to do. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Tired on the train this morning. Who am I gonna tell about my day from hell? Who's gonna talk me down? I'll mostly miss the boring. The walk from your house to that cafe you're always on about. Too bad, couldn't see what you had in front of you. I did what I had to do. I'm gonna miss you. Miss you. Fight a little harder for
Inside yourself so long, sometimes it gets so dark it almost falls into the night. But he can feel the emptiness, feel love and tenderness, let go. Give it all to him, shining in the ecstasy, 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 shining in the ecstasy.
Welcome back. Game 1 rather, saw an absolute shellacking from the side of the Stormwolves, and from that performance we can tell that they came to play. Baldrels need a little bit of extra time to acclimatize to this series, but I'm sure that they're going to bounce back with some new ideas and some new things coming into the second draft. Looks like pretty much identical bans to Game 1. Let's see what Stormwolves prioritize with this first pick.
Yeah, we got a Wukong first pick for the side of Stormwolves. Not exactly played that much by Dax in at least the history that I was able to see, but is a takeaway for the side of Baldrels, as Eliza Lucina does play that champ a lot. Most played champion so far for this season.
Yeah, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Doing a massive circle engage team fight tool, worked great on the Amumu, so why not just pick it on the Wukong? But there is two very interesting picks coming out. The Xin Zhao and the Kindred. One of these is not in the jungle. Both of these are very good answers to an engage team comp. Obviously, the Xin Zhao with the Crescent Sweep is an awesome disengage. And then the Kindred ult, you cannot kill anyone on it. So, yeah, they have some interesting synergy as, if everyone is piling in on the Kindred ult, use that Crescent Sweep, knock everyone out of it, and can potentially pick off some low health targets while staying invulnerable.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. Ahri coming on through for Stormwolves. Kickman does play this champion quite a lot, so a lot of comfortability on that one. easy to layer the charms on top of the Wukong CC as well too on the Cyclone, so definitely a bit of synergy there.
Yeah, and where are we seeing this Xin Zhao come out?
Well, I've had a
Quite
few Xin Zhao tops before, or Kindred ADC.
I think the
be-
Kindred is. I would put money on that Kindred is slotting into the jungle, as you just can barely make much use of your passive in the bot lane. But you never know around these parts. You never know. The Xin Zhao would be a very curious blind pick top lane. But I'm glad that they're mixing it up a bit and that they're trying to keep Stormwolves on their toes.
Yeah, and you know, this is Div 2, and this is why we love Div 2, because we never know what type of game we're gonna get. We just know that every game is gonna be a banger though. That's the only certainty that we have.
And I have just received word from a secret source within my intelligence agency that this potentially is a Kindred top lane, which would
Right.
be a very nice lane into the Mordekaiser. I feel like the Mordekaiser... Actually, what am I talking about? The Mordekaiser is a hard counter to Kindred, because as soon as you ult her, she leaves her ult. And so she'll be standing there on like 100 HP. I'm not sure how the lane plays out, but I do know that Mordekaiser is an awesome pick into the jungle Kindred for that very reason that you can completely negate the Kindred being able to use her own ult.
Yeah, this might be the greatest prediction ever. If the side of Stormwolves are predicting a Kindred top and deliberately picking Mordekaiser into that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the interaction is widely known because I had to figure that out through my my own Mordekaiser jungle adventures, and I said, "Oh, it's a Kindred I'm versing jungle. This is going to go terribly." And then I started fighting her, and I realized that was interaction, and I was like, "Oh, hell yes." But yeah, nice couple extra pieces being put together. Quite a distinctive lack of frontline from the side of Baldrels. So this game, it's switching up a little bit. Talia Ari, pretty classic lane. Two very highly prized meta champions in that. So we're not seeing any interesting picks come out in those regards. Karma will be hopefully paired up with something. I could see a Caitlyn being a good little pair for that one as well. Would go with the sort of theme of the team comp where they're going to have a couple strong winning lanes. Oh, the Caitlyn gets stolen away from the side of Stormwolves, which, yeah, it does go pretty well, I guess, with the team fighting comp. Would have preferred maybe like a Corki or even like a... Or a Civ is already banned, I'm assuming. Yeah, Civ is banned. Yeah, just a bit more of a hyper carry to pump out some team fight damage. The Milio, though, it really enables the Kate to get a lot more lane presence off and dominance. But opting for the Soraka can be a nice option.
Yeah, the Caitlyn's quite a comfort pick for both these ADCs historically as well too. So, you know, Stormwolves coming off a easy win, probably not feeling like they have to take anything too meta. Probably just looking for something comfortable, and then we're getting the opposite effect for Baldrels, feeling like they need more comfort after coming off a bit of a loss. So yeah, Varus coming on through for the side of Baldrels. Whyareytrying? Varus not seen too much on it, but hopefully he can give us a showing as to what that is made of.
Typically, you'd pick Lethality Varus into the Caitlyn as it sort of negates her range advantage, and you have quite a cheap build, so she can never get too far ahead. Obviously, she wants to go for either a Stormrazor, Untiles, or a Collector, one of those three options first, into an Infinity Edge, and that power spike is huge. Whereas the Varus, with the Lethality build, can usually get an item up. So that's why that lane is typically pretty good. But as we've seen recently, the Lethality Varus build has been nerfed quite a lot. So we've kind of entered back into auto attack on hit Varus era. But paired up with the Karma, probably leaning still towards the lethality. Not as effective, but still effective within the lane context.
Yep, and we are just waiting for the players to make sure they're all situated in their gaming setups and positions comfortably. Just a couple bathroom breaks as we are looking forward to getting into game 2. And looking into this game 2, what are we thinking for lane priority coming through for both sides? Who do you think is going to be taking it early game?
Early game, it's hard to tell. Obviously, that Caitlyn Soraka bot lane can be quite potent. Caitlyn in any lane, really, can be quite potent. I'm very curious how this Kindred top lane plays out to start off this game. I haven't seen much Kindred top, but I am hearing whispers of Agra being quite the range top aficionado. So we'll see if that that can be the edge he takes over DirtyTipRat, who is currently on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, the range top abuse has been reported a few times for this player specifically, notably on that Ashe that we did touch on last game. So we'll be looking to make the most of that into the Mordekaiser. Though Mordekaiser isn't exactly, not the shortest range top lane ever. Obviously has the grab to pull you into the melee range as well too, to try to get some of that close quarter fighting going on.
Yeah, I mean, Kindred, as when she starts the game in her sort of base form, is a pretty short range carry in general. You do want to be getting around that 9 stack mark sort of range that you get a significant amount of extra damage and range on your auto attacks. So that's sort of where you really ramp up the power. And that gets, amplified by being in the jungle. You're able to get stacks a lot easier because it is marked on those camps. And you're able to influence different lanes and kill the marks. Whereas in the top lane, you can mark the Mord once. You won't be able to do it again for a while. Hopefully, Wukong comes top and you miraculously kill him and get another mark. But I don't think this Kindred's going to be getting many marks until maybe, laning phase is exited, and that those 9 marks that they need for that really solid power spike probably not going to be in his pocket till 40 minutes or so. So I'd presume that Agra is very confident just on the base sort of mechanics of Kindred and wants to make use of the percentage damage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely going to be a learning experience for both of us with a Kindred top lane matchup to look into. Should provide a lot of interesting gameplay. Again, the way to balance those marks will be something. Of course, you'll probably get a more reliable champion mark as you are directly leaning into somebody as opposed to making your way around the jungle. But then we'll be missing out a lot more on those the jungle marks instead. So should be interesting to see how Agrahar does fare on the Kindred, and we are in the lobby now, just finalizing those drafted champions. We will have the spectator delay again, but we will hopefully be in game within about 3.5 minutes from now.
Yeah. And you don't need 9 marks to be effective or being able to do anything. It's just that's when you hit that break point of being an absolute menace. You do a lot of extra percentage damage, you get the extra range, get a little bit more stats here and there. So it's kind of the late game fantasy, as you will, on the Kindred to get that far ahead. You can make do sort of at the 6-point mark as well. So yeah, it just depends. The sentiment around me saying that was really, I am worried for Agrohar in terms of making the most out of this pick. I do think there is a plethora of ADCs that can slot into the top lane that would be more efficient. The Varus being one of them. Even I've seen some nice Draven tops and stuff like that. Things that can really stat check the opposing top laner and style on them. Obviously, the Vayne is the classic. You don't really want to be blind picking the Vayne too crazily, but yeah, we'll see what the Kindred is. He's picked it for a reason, and he wants, you know, to do work.
Yep, we'll definitely be looking to make that Kindred do some work. I'm just going to go quickly turn off my microwave beeping. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
I did hear that before.
And yes, there is a good comment as well too about the first breakpoint for Kindred being 4 marks as well too. And then there is especially every 3 after that as well too is when Agra will be looking specifically to make some breakpoints on that.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
with the 4, you will be going over sort of a Varus auto attack range. But yeah, typically you want to be getting more. I do believe that, you know, you can do a lot with 4 stacks, getting that extra 75 range, but you want to be like outranging quite a lot of people, especially paired with the Zinzao. You can sort of sit in the Crescent sweep with him and pump out damage from the inside, which is kind of a cool interaction. I actually do like this top side pairing in terms of the way that they can influence fights, team fights, these grubs and that kind of thing. So we're definitely going to be looking at the top lane to see how everything unfolds up there. But yeah, 9 to 10, I'd say is like late game fantasy. You know, you've got an insane amount of attack range. You've got a lot of extra damage and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just hard because most of the buffs will be sort of like, you know, on the Rift Scuttler to start off with, then they end up on the Raptors, the Gromp, and then they sort of make their way to the buffs, and then obviously the big objectives when you have a lot more buffs. So playing around your team is pretty crucial for ramping up with this, which means it removes the split push pressure aspect of having a ranged top laner.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of survivability for the side of Baldrels as well. I mean, both ultimates from Zinzao and Kindred at the end of the day are for extended survivability. And with the Karma healing on top of that as well too, they'll probably stay alive a lot longer than Stormwolves might expect. And might not be quite ready to take on the extended fight that they're looking for if it does come to that as well.
I do like the Varus into the Raka as a sort of a side piece for this bot lane. You know, the Varus can sort of just pop the Raka before she can heal up and that kind of stuff. So I think the side of the Stormwolves has a little less synergy than in the first game, but they've got some nice pieces to work with. The Wukong is going to be doing quite a lot of work on the back line, but it's whether or not he can be sneaky enough to get that damage off without just going down to all the damage that Stormwolves has. And it will be Ghost, Flash, and Conqueror in this top lane. Yeah, I would have expected to see Presley attack, but I guess Conqueror for those extended trades works well into the Mordekaiser as well.
Minions have spawned.
And it will be a Presley attack and a big fight coming in the mid lane. Early start, really bad. So, I mean, coming in from the last game, sorry, I was getting mesmerized by the text moving around. But Eliza has taken down early game, trying to get that ward onto the Raptor camp and getting smited by Dax and the crew. That early kill over to Kickman on the Ahri is going to be super crucial for pretty much the whole state of this game. If an Ahri can start snowballing, it really can affect every single part of this game.
Yeah, great start for Stormwolves once again. Definitely came on a lot sooner than it did game 1. Sorry if my changing the team name orientation distracted a little bit from that. Just had to make sure that it actually was correct and lined up before we got too far into the game.
Yes, I mean, we've gone from 10 minute 30 second first blood in game 1 to like a under 1 minute first blood in this game, so definitely a different start. Not the start that Baldrels were looking for, I'd imagine, as having this Ari sitting on 1 kill to start off the game is not on my bingo card.
No, not at all. Talia does, I feel, offer a lot of decent survivability, and in terms of just control over where the enemy champion is in lane. Obviously, with those rocks and that seismic shove, if Taltreenz can land that specifically, so won't be feeling too bad overall. But yeah, fed Aries is not going to feel good in the team fight with those resets, those dashes, and those charms coming in.
And for the second game in a row, Agra has opted for a really early back. Last game it was for the tier, as soon as they could afford it, which is around level 3. This game is for the cult, so scaling and stacking on the mind for this Kindred. I think DirtyTipRat's going to be pretty okay, you know, with dealing with this Kindred at this moment. Definitely with that early Culby, he kind of knows that, alright, I'm not going to have too much damage going my way. Not too many crazy trades. Does get a level advantage off that as well, and is going to get a really nice shove.
Yeah, good news for the Kindred as well, with the Mark spawning on the top side scuttle, which lines up with Xin Zhao's initial jungle pathing with no competition from the Wukong.
Does the Kindred have to finish the grub herself, or I don't know the mechanic for that one?
Neither, to be honest. I would assume finish, I guess.
Let me know in the chat. There seems to be a couple knowledgeable Kindred enjoyers in the chat. Does he just have to hit the grub, the scuttle once just to get the sack off of that, or does he actually have to finish and get the last hit? I'd assume it isn't the latter, or else they wouldn't even be bothered doing that. But otherwise, that could be a nice little interaction there. As I said, I think the Xin Zhao paired with the Kindred is quite a cool little cheeky matchup. As you do see, DirtyTipRat is going for a heavy trade here. The Conqueror is getting stacked on both sides, and a nice trade back from both sides. I think, yeah, TipRat is going to be enjoying this lane, and potentially could even go for like a proto belt or something to start off the game, just for that little bit of extra mobility.
Yeah, the grab coming on through as well from that Mordekaiser, just to get the Kindred in range and into that little circle around him as well, is definitely doing the work. And thank you, Jesse, as well, for letting us know that, yes, so Kindred does have to kill the objective to secure the mark.
Damn, I feel like it's not even worth putting your jungler in that position where he has to essentially give away a buff like that, you know? Or give away early XP like that.
Yeah,
but,
it's,
you know,
it's a strategy.
Yeah.
We'll figure out whether or not it's a good strategy in 30 minutes time.
He is falling behind a little bit here. 10 CS down to this Mordekaiser. DirtyTipRat enjoying the lane so far. I mean, on paper, I feel like the Kindred is a pretty crappy matchup into pretty much every top laner. Apart from maybe like someone who you can really outrange, like a Mundo potentially, but you know, Mord is super durable with his shielding and stuff, and if you turn back onto them, he can heal quite a lot, whereas early game Kindred kind of suffers. But a gank coming out from the Xin Zhao, does he follow up on the W? DirtyTipRat does have his realm available and is ready to take anyone into Brazil that wants to come near. Jacob,
Yes.
now you are a semi-recent League player. You said you've been, what, in the last 3 years started playing League?
Yes, about 1.5 now. Yeah.
1.5.
just,
Are you familiar with the Mordekaiser Brazil meme?
I know the reference, and I think I have said the reference myself, but no, I have no idea where it actually comes from.
It's essentially that the idea was that Mordekaiser was Brazilian. He didn't actually have a realm in his original kit. It's just they would say Mordekaiser goes way, and that essentially just made him Brazilian. There might be more
That's interesting. It's odd. I feel like Latin America has an effect on more than just League of Legends as an esport as well too. As for any viewers who are big Rocket League fans specifically, we also have a term called Brazil in Rocket League, and it's when you beat the opponents with a scoreline of 7-1.
Ah,
So-
that's a classic.
Yeah.
That is definitely a transcendent scoreline in terms of that World Cup game.
Yep, no, for sure. So Brazil having a profound impact on esports. And I also just want to shout out to Taltreenz. Every single time the observer cameras cut to him, he's landed every single seismic shove so far onto the Ari and has stayed with CS parity despite the early lead for the Ari as well too. So really hanging on well into that lane.
Yeah, it's a nice matchup. I feel like the Talia enjoys that one pre-6 quite a lot. You can sort of force your opposing laner to sit behind the minions, whereas Ari wants to kind of be ducking in and out of the minions, trying to hit the charm. But yeah, Brazil is locked and loaded for DirtyTipRat in this top lane, looking to unleash the beast again, as he did have quite an impressive performance in that early game. Last game.
And as you mentioned, we'll probably want to hold on to it for that ultimate interaction when Kindred does pop the invulnerability. And as you are now aware, and now I'm aware, takes the Kindred out of that invulnerability.
Yeah, exactly. Takes him out of it into Brazil. And the Grubbies have been started. They are being challenged. I think this Wukong's going to be happy with just taking 2 of those. Lets the other go over as a donation. He also did pick up the Chemtech's dragon for the first one. So, yeah, not a lot of early contests on these things. No one's really trying to fight too early. I think yeah, they're not overly confident in their ability to take these early game skirmishes, and they're just going to let it all hang come these dragon fights mid-game.
Yeah, besides that first skill, it's looking, once again, similar to the slower state of Game 1. A very, very measured approach from both teams today. Really not showing off the Div 2 skills, but that is more than okay. As later these games go, the more hectic it is going to get.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is hanging around the top side. Both junglers are homeless for the meantime, as there is not many camps up the bot side for the Xin Zhao. So yeah, it looks like we are getting a perfect insight into this. He is gifting it. Oh, that's quite smart. They're leaving it up. But looks like the Xin Zhao did take that there, so maybe they know the tech, and it was. Are you able to click
maybe
on,
there's something there.
Are you able to click on the Kindred and see how many stacks she's sitting on?
I can try. Although
And
it might take.
Should go back to auto camera after 3 seconds.
Yeah,
anyway.
let's see.
I'm just curious.
So, Kindred is currently on 2 stacks. It won't show because we've got the logo over there. But yes, Kindred is on 2 stacks. Let me see if I can.
So that's interesting because
move.
Kindred did not finish off either of those camps.
No, it doesn't stay up, but I can check periodically.
It's interesting. I had no idea how that interaction worked, but it actually makes Kindred a little bit more viable and is able to get to this these sort of 4 stacks a little bit quicker, potentially, because he's going to chuck the mark on the Maud pretty much every time. Oh, a nice Cyclone is going to be found in this bot lane. The Crescent Sweep to disrupt the Wukong a little bit. The Ari is coming into this backline, and she's going to find a kill potentially onto the Xin, but he gets out by the skin of his teeth. Dax is limping away as well, but here comes TipRat. He takes the Varus to Brazil, and potentially he's going to pop out and find the Xin Zhao as well. A nice flash on the back end. TipRat is finding his feet in this game again.
What a double kill by DirtyTipRat on that one. Flashed out of the turret range after exiting the ultimate realm, just to land a smash onto the onto the jungler of the Baldrels, securing the double kill after taking out their ADC, removing so much of new damage, and it is going to net Dax his second Drake of the game. Again.
A really good heads up play by the Maud there, teleporting down to grab that. And then the Ahri is just going to go top lane. Ooh, it's getting close. The flash coming in, but the TipRat might actually get one back here. A shutdown over to the Talia, but still only really 150 gold difference. So it depends. You know, this Talia will be a great source of damage and utility come late game. But I don't want to keep this Maud snowballing. He does really good work into most of the team on the side of the Baldrels. And as I was saying, like, Varus could be a good tool to kill the Maud. He's just picked up his experimental hex plate, so he is definitely being a little bit more experimental with this build. A sweeper early as well on the Varus. Crazy tech that we're seeing here today.
Yeah, we are getting a tech masterclass tonight with the Kindred top lane, along with everything else. And I mean, a bit of tech as well too. That Mordekaiser, I don't know what the ability is called, but the hand that comes in and grab is still active even after the champ dies.
I think it's Nether Grasp potentially. Looks like they're invading Dax in the top side. They might be able to pick up a kill there. Oh, don't know about that one. As here comes the Ahri. Kickman is able to get two, and that is a massive overshot from the Baldrels. The Ahri's got so many stacks up. Are they able to pick up one more? She's going to be able to dash on. Oh, and the fancy feats coming out from Kickman, from Taltreenz, but it's not going to be enough. That's a triple kill for the Ahri. 4-0. And
yeah, the Kindred panic ulted there, and the position was just not that good. He's trying to save his teammate from a potential turret shot, taking him out, but ended up just wasting it, and then being completely out of position for the follow-up from Stormwolves.
The Chains of Corruptions come out here. Decent amount of damage onto this Caitlyn, but she's getting healed up. Might go down to the Varus. It's out of mana and isn't able to proc those Blight stacks at the end there. A nice little 2v2 with a lot of work coming out from the Soraka and the Karma. Able to keep their ADCs alive as they're seeing red.
Yeah, both sums used by the Caitlyn, and for those in chat that are wondering, this is a best of 3, and Stormwolves are currently up 1 game, as you can see in the bottom left corner. So Baldrels are hoping for a game 3, Stormwolves are hoping to finish us out in 2 tonight.
Yeah, I think it's another great start for the Stormwolves. It's almost identical to how the first game was looking, minus maybe a dragon that was over to the side of the Baldrels. But yeah, carrying on the really good momentum from the first game, Whyareytrying picked up on the DirtyTipRat. He is looking to just keep bullying this Kindred out of lane, as the Kraken Slayer isn't going to be too much of a tool for this. But yeah, I think the Baldrels are going to have to come up with some crazy plays and some crazy strategies very shortly, as they will be having to proverbial pack their bags. As DirtyTipRat bonks Agra on my tangent. Very rude of him.
Yeah, that was one dead Kindred. No ult up for the side of Agra. Ult up for Mord. AP Mordekaiser coming in with the Whyareytrying first, but still taking the armor boots. So we'll feel better going into Kindred with a bit of AD armor, but we'll be dishing out so much damage. Haunting guys coming in too, so just layering on the AP right now. Yeah, and it's a bit unfortunate because Eliza was actually hitting that Rift Herald there that whole time. So a bit of miscommunication, as Agra thought he potentially could tank a couple waves and grab that gold. As a nice bait is going to come out. Dax is waiting in the bush and a huge cyclone comes out. The Kindred ult is there to match, but I don't know if it is going to have any effect, as Eliza is going to go down for the 4th time here in this game. Kickman is unstoppable, and this Kindred goes down over the hill as well. Yeah, ult in from Taltreenz with a defensive shove just to get out of there after realizing the re-engage was not on. And yeah, just a phenomenal bait for Stormwolves. Pulled both of them in, the Kindred and the Xin Zhao. Wukong Cyclone out into it, and the Kindred ult could not save them. They just didn't deal enough damage to the side of Stormwolves, and they will pick up another Drake, stacking them even quicker than they did in the first game.
12 points, 16 minutes into the game. This is pretty much as bad as it could get for the Baldrels. I do like the creativity with the extra picks. I think you got to try something, especially if you're one game down. But yeah, the scene comp is just not coming together the way that they had hoped. Into Brazil goes the Kindred. There's going to be a lot of bonk action happening inside of that realm. He is going to be met with a Xin Zhao on the way out, but I think this potentially could be a 2v1. But Taltreenz is there to ruin the party as the shutdown over to there again. Dax coming in to try and clean up, but is he able to get the Xin Zhao? Kickman here again doesn't have the Spirit Rush, it just comes up. But yeah, I mean, as you see, so much pressure. It took them so long to kill that Mordekaiser that the rest of the team was able to just show up and start doing work.
The you know, Rift here with Lifesaver tech coming in there, popping out just so Agra can hop into it, take it right away, and don't take any damage for a few seconds. Managed to keep him alive, but the Xin Zhao did not fare so well after taking all the effort into putting out the Mordekaiser. Did end up falling in the end over there, so again, just so much pressure on the side of Stormwolves, as you're saying. They're just able to push in all areas right now. Again, still got taking turrets, but still keeping all their turrets last game. And I actually didn't check, but they might have still had every single turret up when they completed game 1. Stormwolves may not have actually lost a turret yet at all this entire night so far.
I think you are correct, and
yeah,
Stormwolves are showing this series that they are a serious competitor, and both Team Push and the Trap team are going to be watching this, and they're going to be quite scared because a confident Stormwolves team is going to be very hard to deal with. Their team fighting is on point. They seem to pull the trigger and make really clutch engages exactly when they need to, and that is a scary prospect in this Division 2, is a bit of coordination and the ability to threaten these objectives. So if these are our finalists coming into the last round, into the grand final, I think Stormwolves are going to come into that series with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm sure at least the winner of a Trap team with Team Push, surely one of their top laners has to be picking Demolish, right? after seeing what's currently going on, they'll just be hoping to better against them than Baldrels are right now by managing to take a turret.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be doing a loss, not losing a single turret for an entire playoff campaign. It would be a pretty impressive feat for the Stormwolves, and would issue them as like the dominant force in this Division 2.
Baldrels actually got grubs last game as well too, just to remind people as well.
Yeah,
they didn't this game, but they did last game.
Dax going in, might find the Cyclone, but he's going to catch on the Xin Zhao on the side. He will be trapped over by the wall, but that is the wrong place to be, Taltreenz. Now he's going to go down, and then the rest will follow. He is in the realm with the Xin Zhao. He is getting bonked down, and that is a dead Xin Zhao. A dive might be set up here afterwards, though, as this Karma is looking awfully tasty under this tower. The Kindred is left his devices in the top lane, but isn't opting to push the lane. He wants to go for that mark on the Grump, which will leave him at, I assume, 4 now, potentially, maybe still 3.
I'll check that one for us right now. Let's see what Kindred's marks are at. Kindred could, yep, that was his 4th mark, so is gonna come on there and get the first break point.
Yep, and so if one of the chatters were correct, oh, the tower went down. Huge.
There we
blaze.
Go. Yep. Hey, maybe this is the comeback. This is where we see the Baldrels realize they can do this, as they have taken their first tower in almost an hour of gameplay. So this is unseen territory for us, as we will see how they try to continue the push into the base of Stormwolves, which is the end goal of most games of League.
Unfortunately for Baldrels, the game state is even worse than game 1 though, regardless of that first tower. As the Zinzal's flashing in to try and kill the Raka, that is the wrong target, buddy, as he is going to keep trying to kill this Raka. But on the back line, his team is getting absolutely demolished. Why do I exist? Taking him out as the Kindred ult helps the side of Stormwolves, and whoa, it is just going downhill quickly. If they were able to FF, I'm sure they would, but their journey in the playoffs would be over, as it's almost an exact same situation as the first game. As just over 20 minutes, they're saying free dragon time. Let's take it.
Yeah, I'm getting crazy flashbacks right now. It feels very similar. Similar enough scoreline as well too. And also, another thing to note, I don't think Toot has died yet either. I'm pretty sure he finished last game with something like 2-0 and 20 and is now sitting at 1-0 and 11. So not making a much a big performance on these enchanters, but is putting in so much work behind the scenes, and it is definitely paying off.
It's definitely a thankless job, like a good Lulu and a good Soraka. Unless you're doing a crazy wild growth, there's not too much, you know, like highlight ability. But that it's highlighting that, you know, like, she is the backbone of this team. Both times they've won the bot lane quite handedly, off the back of some really nice enchanter plays.
Yeah,
and the only 2 deaths are on this TipRat. So they've gone out of the first game being like, hey, we need to put some more pressure on this big boy in the top lane. Let's send some ganks that way. And he's just turned it every time. He might have gone down once or twice, but they've lost so much time and so much tempo trying to get this Mordekaiser out of here. And Zinzal is currently homeless.
A lot of resources thrown into the top lane, specifically by the Zinzal, and is probably feeling it. Behind 3 levels right now to Dax. So, yeah, Dax is 15, going on 16. Closer to 16 than the Zinzal is going on 13. So, massive showing for Dax as well too.
And if this game doesn't end on this Baron push, Dax will be able to go back, grab a GA, and then he can just absolutely send it on whoever. There's not much threat. And the GA will really enable him to just like run rampant, you know, get a good tower reset off. We do see that Taltreenz is trying to get some stuff going on the side lanes. Is going to potentially be able to take a second tower with some bounty gold coming back, but it is definitely just a little bit too late for that. They should be playing the side lanes a lot earlier than this, and it should be the Kindred, who has picked up quite a peculiar build with the C44 and the Kraken Slayer. I'd imagine it works kind of well, but at the same time, you never really know.
And that is, that's probably it. To be honest, that is 4-0. And Stormwolves are going to take the base of Baldrels.
Sorry about that. It wasn't an epic ending as my stream crashed there for a second. But yeah, Baldrels have been defeated. Stormwolves have ascended to the finals as #1 finalists. Stormwolves have made it into the top of the bracket. As we see tomorrow who will be facing them, either the Trap team or Team Push, both very tough competitors. But they're going to have to come up against this titan of a team. The Stormwolves looking almost unbeatable in this playoff run so far, taking out Baldrels, who in their own right is a very strong team.
Yep, and for anybody wondering, because I know there are a few people in the chat that were betting on how many marks Kindred was going to end up at, we ended up at 4 marks by the end of the game on that one. And again, as I said, I still think Taltreenz and Zed actually played very well. It was currently at 100% of the kills,
marks.
and
now,
the only person with
cut it.
even KDA on the side of Baldrels. So that was still some pretty good Talia plays. The shoves were on point. So again, not a bad showing from Taltreenz, but unfortunately it is zeros across the board for the rest of Baldrels in that game too.
Yeah, and Taltreenz actually had a really good performance in game 1 despite the state of the map. So unfortunate. We'll see how the Baldrels can bounce back in split 2. Unfortunately, for this split, their journey is over. So make sure you send your condolences over to them on their playoff run. But it's not all over. You know, they've got next split. They've got some good data to go off of. The main piece of data there is probably not do the Kindred top thing. I would avoid that in the future.
Yeah, I'm not convinced yet. It's going to take a lot more to convince me. I don't think it's something I'm going to be looking forward to if I see another team pull it out right now. But you know what? There's always next season, and there is always more time to convince us that Kindred top is actually secret Antarctic server hidden technology that we are just not aware of yet.
Yeah, I think it's still got a little bit of tinkering to be done with it. I feel like they've got the bare bones. You know, those 2 early stacks off of the Scuttle Crab, both of them landing in the top lane, I think was lucky. Yeah, but apart from that, it was a very low impact champion and just couldn't do anything to the Mordekaiser early. Once he got those steel caps, it was pretty much game over.
Yeah, and that's it for us tonight. That is the end of Stormwolves versus Baldrels. Best of 3 fairless, and Stormwolves do take that one 2-0. Very, very handy win for them. They will be making their way to the finals of Div 2. They will be playing the winners of... Now, this is very important. Tomorrow night's game at 7 p.m. We have Trap Team versus Team Push. So, winner of that will be facing Stormwolves in the Div 2 finals. Super hype, and that is going to be some phenomenal gameplay that we are all looking forward to.
I did chalk this one up to being a banger, but unfortunately... Stormwolves proved just absolutely too powerful and well prepared for the Baldrels. But I can guarantee tomorrow night's game is going to be a banger, so tune in for that. As for now, we're closing the book on Baldrels Season 0 run. So yeah, we got to thank Agra in the top lane, Eliza in the jungle, Taltreenz, NZ in the mid lane, Whyareytrying on ADC, and Joker on the support. Thank you guys for taking part in the split. We hope you had fun. It was a pleasure being able to cast you, and congrats on making it to playoffs. You know, not everyone makes it this far, and it is a testament in itself.
Indeed. And to Stormwolves, we look forward to watching you in the finals, and hope the rest of you guys have a great night. Thanks again for tuning in and watching this OBL game. Means a lot to the players and everyone else involved. All the support is so appreciated, and we just want to make sure you guys have a great viewing experience as well too. So let us know if you have anything else we'd like to do next time, or any improvements we can make, and otherwise hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Awesome. Thanks guys. Have a good one.
I'll put it to the stream now.
Multicolored paint on my skin. Couldn't bear the night. Turning into daylight. You're the only thing that I need. The silence in the air that I breathe. Solace in your eyes. Hold me in your mind. And I think I could get used to this. I think I could get used to this. And I think I could get used to this. Do you think you could get used to this? I remember when we went in. Multicolored paint. today. Don't care if we die today. Least we know we've tried today. Tried today. Tried today. Early rise today. Don't care if we die today. Least we know we've tried today. Tried